Welcome BitMonger family. Monger with you here today. Hope you guys are all having a great one. Shake and bake. So in today's video I'm going to do some Bitcoin price analysis. I'm also going to show you some of the things that I did today and my reasoning behind it. We'll be looking at the charts I'll be making, telling you how I charted it and what was going through my mind. Maybe this helps you with your trading journey if you're into trading, and tell me if you think I'm, what you see I'm doing, if you think I'm wrong. If you have any sort of critiques, I'm welcome to critiques. Always welcome to my criticism, because that's how you learn. Some people can't take criticism, and I don't know. I think people that are unable to take constructive criticism are pretty much losers. They just usually they try to take it as a personal attack. Those types of people, that's their mindset, and that unfortunately can stop you from learning. And I know that as being a teacher and having worked with people a lot when it comes to learning. And some people they can't take constructive criticism. But I want you guys to know that I'm very much open to it. So if you see something that I'm doing wrong, or if you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear what you got to say. Put them in the comments. So let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. And just so you guys know, I did nibble today. And the reason why is because of this. You can see this red line. This is where I sold my Bitcoin back in last October. And I'm currently, it's currently down 38%. And so I decided to nibble on some Bitcoin, even though I think the market could go down a lot further. Nothing's certain in life. And, hey, I'm getting that Bitcoin that I sold off for 30, basically almost nearly 40% discount from what I sold it at earlier. And to me, that's fine, because I'm reacquiring what I had sold off. And I'm also getting a nice chunk of cash with it, and maybe I plan on buying more Bitcoin if we get any larger dips. I didn't go balls deep and buy it all, by no means. I bought a nice little chunk of what I had sold off, but I still have a lot of left powder to redeploy. So that's what I did there, and the reason why. And I stepped in like right around 70,900. So let's go into the shorter time frames and I'll show you what I did and why. We can see it here on the 5 minute. Now this is a very short time frame of 5 minutes, but you can see when I was looking at this, we can see we came down here, and this is where we bottomed out at, guys. And there wasn't much volume at that stage, and we could see that it started to stair step, right? We can see it going up, coming down, coming up, making a higher high, coming down, and then we had a fairly large candle right here, and a long wick which shows seller exhaustion. It pops back up. Then we had a small green candle, and then we had another green candle, and then when this green candle popped up on the third green candle, I put my order entry right above at the top of that second green candle, and it got triggered, and I went into a long position on that one. And currently I'm in the profit. I've already moved up my stop loss, so no matter what, I'm going to in the trade in profit. Might be a small amount. If it goes back down and kicks me out of the trade, not a problem. That's I have no problem with that at all, because I will be ending the trade in profit. And and this is also right around the place where I decided to buy that spot position to reacquire some of my Bitcoin, which I did. And like I've told you guys before, I'm looking for lower levels. I don't think this is necessarily the end of the capitulation, but nothing's sure in life. So like I said, I bought it. I got a big discount on it, and that's what I did. And let's go into the next one. I sold my gold position. As you guys know, a few days ago, I bought gold on that dirty dip, and I was looking at that critical point. Let's take a look at the gold chart. Oh, let's get back into Bitcoin real quick. So yeah, I bought here. I wanted to talk about these two things before I get onto gold. Look at these white lines right here. I'm thinking it looks like, if we are stair-stepping up and we're coming up here, and I got this line drawn here. We can see where it tagged it here, 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 topped out here, topped out here, right through the center of these, started on a big green candle when it broke out here, touched it here, and now it is starting to break through. So we'll have to see, but right now this just looks like it broke. I wouldn't be surprised. I was thinking maybe this might go range bound, but it just did break through here, so we'll have to see if it can pull back up. But that's not a good sign, guys. I was thinking that this might be going range bound in between here, but actually we can see right here on this one here, it failed to get back up here. It tried again and it got to about the same spot as the second one, and then it rolled over. That's a clear sign of weakness, that it didn't get back up to this previous high where it had topped out at, and then it rolled over. So this is looking good. It's probably going to go down. So I'm probably going to get kicked out of that trade. That's what I was thinking, guys. And now I think I'd have to look at and re-diagnose this some more. One thing, guys, a very important point that I can tell you as a trader, and that is when you get kicked out of the trade, it's usually a really, really, really bad idea to jump right back into another trade right after that. If you get stopped out, if something went wrong, it's best to kick back, take some time off, re-diagnose it, reflect on what you did, on what was happening. Sometimes your charting or your analysis might be accurate and things just go the wrong way. Nothing's certain. We're just playing probabilities, guys, and patterns and trying to read and use those to get an edge, because it's all about getting an edge. If you're one of those types of people that thinks this is just purely, flipping a coin, well, then you're an absolute fool. Especially if you're trying to trade that way, you're going to end up broke. So you need to use analysis and use probabilities, risk reward. Look at the risk reward on something. So right now, the risk reward is, it's hard to say. I mean, especially if you look up here, if we look at, the futures, it's looking green. They might go up. I mean, they've had a couple bad days. I don't know if it will continue to go down, but, usually these don't go down for too long and then they turn around. So, but we'll see. Dow's is red, but the S&P is looking flat and NASDAQ is up slightly. So, and gold is down, like I said. So let's go ahead and go into my gold trade. As you guys know, I bought this dirty dump. I bought it when it was around 4,500. Right under that is when I got into that trade. Really nice trade. And then I had told you before that an important point that I was looking for in gold was to break over 5,100. And when it rolled over and when it failed to break that, I decided, hey, this might have been a relief rally. They often happen. You often have relief rallies. I had identified that spot. So I decided that it was in my best interest at that point, just to take money off the table. I mean, I already made I just made $1,800 on that trade in less than 2 days, I think it is. So, hey, I don't want to necessarily risk it. Gold did go up massively, and there's always possible that this could have been a failed attempt to get back up and we get more rollover, especially if the stock market remains weak. Remember, people are irrational, and when things get scary, they tend to sell everything, even if it's the safe haven asset, and if they've made a lot of money, if they were one of those people that bought it, a long ago, or, a couple $1,000s ago, and they're up, nicely in profit. Some people will just be like, what? Thank you. Pull the trigger. Take it off the table. So that could happen. So that's why I took my money off the table, said thank you, and I'll look back to get back into the gold trade at a different time. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed my analysis and my thoughts on Bitcoin and what I've been up to. Again, leave your thoughts in the comments. Hope you're all doing well, and monger on.